In January of 2022, this year, the PGA Tour announced it was going to work with Netflix, Vox Media, and Box to Box to put out a docuseries so that true fans could see what really went on behind the scenes with PGA Tour golfers. For the first time, we were going to be let into their lives. You were going to be able to see the real lives of really, really rich people who are really, really, really good at golf. No more were you going to have to wonder, what kind of toothpaste does Ricky Fowler use? You were going to see the warts and all, not just this Jay Lindeberg, preemie, pretty, preppy boy, surface sugarcoating that they always do. I was also banking on the fact that they'd finally tell us whatever happened to Smiley Kaufman, originally of the Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, Ricky Fowler crew, even though at this point, I think Ricky Fowler's just holding on by the fingertips. This series has been following certain players since January, and it's tons of footage already. However, probably surprising to everyone at this point, a new golf tour started, the LIV Golf Tour. And a lot of these PGA Tour players who have volunteered to be part of this docuseries are now part of the LIV Golf Tour. Like you, Big Boy Pants Golf also noticed that one of the common narratives was that only washed up has-beens were going to the LIV Golf Tour. It is odd then that the PGA Tour would choose these players, 6 of which have now gone to the LIV Tour, to represent them in this docuseries. But that's another story for another time. But don't worry, friends. Not all hope is lost. Big Boy Pants Golf will help Netflix and Box to Box, through their creative storyteller Vox Media, still tell the story that they really actually wanted to tell the whole time. And that's the story of woke Rory. I know Rory McIlroy wasn't originally part of the docuseries, but this gives him the opportunity to step into his hero cape and boots once again and save the PGA Tour. I want you to stick around for the entire episode. So I'm going to let you know now that not only do we discuss woke Rory, but we also find him the perfect PGA Tour sidekick to help him make sure that the PGA Tour stays strong. Yes, Rory did say in February that he thought the Saudi Golf League was dead in the water.
It's messy. I wish it hadn't have got that messy. And
sure, it does seem like Rory is flip-flopping right now, but his superpower was never seeing into the future. It was always being carbon neutral, even more so than the great Leonardo DiCaprio. And if you think about it, flip-flops are more environmentally friendly than the billions of shoes that end up in landfills each year. Let's watch Rory evolve into the woke superhero that the PGA Tour needs by looking at the then and the now.
And in hindsight, I think there were probably steps that were missed that wouldn't have made it as messy. But I think in the long term, it will make the game better.
While there does seem to be a big contrast between what Rory said in February and what he just said today, it just shows the power of the human spirit to make a strong pivot.
But right now, it's just that there's this disruption that's happening, and with disruption comes change and forced change, and I think this has just sort of forced the tour's hands a little bit.
It is interesting to note how Rory has evolved his position once Paul Casey joined the LIV Golf Tour. In relation to his 2021 Ryder Cup team, all 4 members over the age of 40, Sergio Garcia, Paul Casey, Ian Poulter, and Lee Westwood, are all now with the LIV Golf Tour. Back in June, Rory stated, "I think they would say to you themselves that their best days are behind them," in relation to the 40 and 50-year-olds joining the LIV Golf Tour, a number of which are his ex-Ryder Cup teammates. I'm sure they're calling him and saying, "Rors, what's the deal? Why are you slagging us so much?" in different accents like that. And it's starting to put the pressure on Rory to maybe stop bad-mouthing them.
And they have to adapt and change, and I think that's what they're going to have to try to do.
Do you think there will have to be peace talks between the three tours at some stage?
I think so. I think that needs to happen. There's so much chat about where the money's coming from in Saudi and everything else. Like, they sponsor so many other things, and they're all over sport. I understand people's reservations with everything, but at the same time, if these people are serious about investing billions of dollars into golf, I mean, I think ultimately that's a good thing.
Rory McIlroy also has the power of invisibility, as I didn't see him at any of those LIV golf conferences where Dustin Johnson, Phil Mickelson, Brooks Koepka, and everyone else was getting grilled.
I think ultimately that's a good thing. All the narrative isn't good. It's splitting the game instead of everyone coming together, and I think everyone needs to try to come together a little bit more.
Is there a resentment between the players who are still on the PGA Tour and the DP world and the players who have decided to defect?
I think defection is a strong word.
In a previous video, Big Boy Pants Golf also pointed out that the term defector, a little bit strong.
I understand why guys have went, especially the guys that are sort of in the latter stages of their career. And I mean, if I was in their position, I mean, I'd seriously have to think about doing the same thing.
Jay Monahan is actively tearing up the love letters that Rory sent him at this point.
Like, I understand. Is there a difference of opinion? Yes. But I mean, I can argue with you about a certain thing, but I'm still going to like you at the end of it. So there's a difference of opinion, and I would have done things a little bit differently. But I think at this stage, if you go over and play in a different tour, then go and play in a different tour. And, I think this whole having your cake and eating it type thing is what the resentment resolves within the membership. But for me, I don't resent anyone. A lot of these guys are my friends, and they're still going to be my friends regardless of the decisions they make.
I promised you earlier that we were going to get Woke Rory a sidekick. And that person is none other than Big Bad Billy Horshel. Has there ever been a tougher guy to wear polo Ralph Lauren octopus print pants on the golf course? I don't think so.
There's a big cloud hanging over the event.
The reporter starts off by saying, "There's a big cloud hanging over this event," basically reiterating what Brooks Koepka said before the US Open when he was being interviewed, saying that there was a black cloud hanging over this event. Let's go to the video.
I think it kind of sucks too. Y'all are throwing this black cloud over the US Open. And
what are your thoughts on that at the moment in terms of the players that are potentially going to play, that look like they are going to play? What's your thoughts on that?
I believe they made their bed. They decided to go play a tour, and they should go play that tour. They shouldn't be coming back over here to play the DP World Tour or the PGA Tour. To say that they wanted to also support this tour, whether DP or PGA Tour going forward, while playing the LIV Tour, is complete asinine, in my opinion. To play the PGA Tour, you got to play 15 events. And their schedule's 8 now and going to be 14. So it's said they're going to play 29 events a year.
29 events per year sounds like a crazy number to Billy Horshel. I just wanted to see how it played out in real life, so I looked at Colin Morikawa's schedule, and if you look from US Open and not count the current past US Open, he would have played in 24 events this year. Again, from last year's Open to the event before this Open was 24. 29 doesn't seem that astronomically crazy, especially if, for example, the PGA Tour removed the Wednesday Pro-Am round. Essentially then, the players would be playing the same amount of rounds per year. Netflix, keep that fact out of the docuseries. Also, don't mention Vijay Singh and all those years he was playing 35 to 39 tournaments a year, which was ridiculous.
And still hold their membership on the PGA Tour is ridiculous. And I know it's easy over here on the DP World Tour where you only have to play 4 events outside the majors and WC events.
The fact that you only need to play 4 events on the DP World Tour outside of the majors and the WGC events should also be kept out of the docuseries, because it would be crazy if the PGA Tour changed its rules to accommodate the LIV Golf Tour.
But in my sitting here, being able to talk to the DP World Tour players over the last couple of years, having a conversation with them in Germany at the BMW International Open, you know, just coming to play the big events on the DP World Tour, yeah, that helps, but that's not supporting the DP World Tour. Go play something that's not a Rolex Series event. Go play something that's not in the Middle East.
You really want to help the DP World Tour? Go win a local club championship in Edinburgh.
That's more important to the DP World Tour and the growth of the tour and giving back to the tour and helping these guys in the financial sense of making sure that financially they're getting the rewards that they deserve over here. And they've lacked the rewards that we have on the PGA Tour. Obviously, there's a multitude of reasons for it. But these guys deserve just the similar rewards over here that you know, we get on the PGA Tour. So it's unfortunate because those guys made their bed.
On the topic of making your bed, Rory McIlroy's father also said to him, "My dad said to me a long time ago, once you make your bed, you lie in it." And they have made their bed. That's their decision, and they have to live with it. It's insane. It's like Billy's reading Rory's father's mind.
That's what they want to do, and just go, leave us alone.
Just go leave us alone. This quote brings up Billy Horshel's superpower. At any moment, he can create a safe space that protects the PGA Tour players from the LIV Golf Tour players.
Honestly, they keep talking about the PGA Tour doesn't listen to them, and obviously I'm carrying on to your question because this is something the last week I've been really frustrated by it because there's a lot of guys that are hypocrites.
Billy Horshel, the diplomat of the PGA Tour.
And so it's ridiculous to hear some of these comments some of these guys made saying, well, you know, this allows me to play less tournaments. I've played 30, 35 weeks a year.
The docuseries also probably needs to cut this part out. Billy Horshel, if you remember, just a little bit earlier said that 29 tournaments seemed impossible. And now he's actually acknowledging the fact that some players play to 30 to 35 tournaments a year.
No one's forced you to play that many events. The PGA Tour says 15 events minimum. All you have to do is play 15 events. If you keep your card in those 15 events, then that's fine. You don't have to play. If you want to play it better or you want to play more so you get a chance to win the FedEx Cup, so be it. So be it. No one's made you play that first playoff event to miss family obligations. No one has. We're independent contractors. We do.
This part, nix it. Billy Horshel saying that these golfers are independent contractors? You're hurting the PGA Tour's case right now, Billy.
You sign a contract with the PGA Tour that requires us to meet certain requirements of the PGA Tour. But we have the opportunity to make our schedule. So to say that we have to play X amount of events and they don't have time off, no one makes you.
I don't speak fluent Billy Horshel, but it seems like he's saying that you only have to play 15 tournaments a year and you can schedule it accordingly to keep your PGA Tour card. It's all very confusing at this point. I'm actually reconsidering if he should be Rory McIlroy's sidekick.
I'm on the road for 5 weeks. I've not seen my family for 3 weeks. I haven't seen them for 3 weeks. The last 3 weeks wasn't at the US Open. Didn't see him in Germany. I stayed over here for London for a week. I'm not seeing him this week. I'm not seeing him that week.
Billy, now you're literally making the case that a lot of the LIV Golf Tour players made, that they don't want to go these long stretches without seeing their family.
For next week. So 5 weeks. But that's what my wife and I decided. That's what, when we laid our schedule out, it just worked that way. I made that decision to not see my wife and kids for 5 weeks.
Being a superhero sidekick is about sacrifice.
Am I crying about it?
You're bringing it up, but I don't see any tears.
No, I understand. I'm living my dream, trying to play golf professionally and support my family financially. And so I'm just tired of these comments. Like, go play your LIV Tour and forget about the PGA Tour. You didn't want to support the PGA Tour going forward. Don't tell me you're going to play LIV when they go to 14 events and then go play 15 events on a PGA Tour and play in 29.
Cut this part out because it kind of contradicts what you said before about some players complaining about playing 30 to 35. Now that number 29 seems quite feasible. Just put over some kind of airplane montage when Billy talks about this kind of stuff.
That's not a smaller schedule. You're not playing less. Sorry, carrying on.
I'm doing my part. If you do your part of subscribing, liking, and sharing this video, maybe we can get this made because Netflix doesn't have a whole lot of good ideas right now.